Basically, in summary, the whole idea of the Helpdesk and NOC services together, as we mentioned before, is initially to free up internal resource so you can actually refocus what your either internal engineers are doing, having them have the ability to focus on larger issues, perhaps on-site problems, perhaps sales, project management, things of that nature, and having us take over the remote aspect of that operation will definitely always free up quite a bit of resource on your side. So that's, in turn, that's going to save you money because your own technicians are going to be far more efficient with not having to deal with the flotsam from level 1, level 2 phone calls to them. Because the service is actually integrated between our two teams, it's a pretty flawless delivery as far as our communication between the two teams goes. Basically, we hear about something from the NOC team generally before the clients. Your clients are even aware there is a problem. So it's nice to have that synergy between the two teams, and we're in constant communication. So that will never change. We use your existing tools. You've invested time and money into those. We're going to use those for you and hopefully optimize them, and so that both teams get the best use and efficiency out of them. Extensive troubleshooting and remediation, ultimately that's our goal. If we can get rid of the symptoms for something, but the call comes back in the next day for the same thing, we're really not helping anyone. Bottom line, we want to provide the support with competence and kindness. It's people we're dealing with in the help desk arena. Ultimately, they're who we are dealing with on a daily basis. We want to fix the problem. We want to keep your users as efficient as they can be by maintaining the networks and infrastructure that they're using, and in turn, that makes everyone happy. And it's ultimately it comes down to growing the business. We do well, you guys do well. It's kind of it's definitely a partnership. It's not a client-vendor relationship we're looking for. It is true partners. And I think that's what sets us apart as a company. It's one of the reasons why we work with folks like Virtual Administrator. They're just wonderful team players. They get what we're trying to do. They believe in what we do, and all around that makes for the best experience. So I think I've probably taken up more time than expected, so I apologize for that. So I think at this time we could probably, Dan, do we normally just entertain some questions and whatnot, or?
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is a good chance for you guys to type in your questions. So if you have a couple questions or something that you'd like to know, this is your chance. Go ahead and pop it in. Trevor, thanks for taking some time to go over that. I think that this was really good. I think you guys have really solidified, especially the NOC offering. We know about the help desk, and we have a lot of information on that. So that was good that you kind of went back over that. But it was also good. I think things have really changed for the NOC since you guys first put it together.
Definitely.
It used to just be we offered NOC service. Now you have specific programs that are tailored, and I think that's a very good thing.
And that's exactly right. Basically, as the market, as the environment changes and whatnot, we realize that the change needed to be necessary as well. There are situations where clients may not need a full NOC service on every single one of their devices. But if they didn't, previously we didn't have that level to offer, so it was kind of an all or nothing type of situation.
Yeah.
Having the two different tiers in there, basically it's flexible, it works well, it's completely integrated with the help desk, and it works wonderfully. We've been doing it for a year now, and it's grown almost exponentially, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Very cool. So are you doing a lot of work with the NOC yourself? Like, are you communicating with them directly most of the time, or is it?
I communicate with them on a daily basis. I'm not the official coordinator. That's actually Sean McCoy, one of my counterparts here.
Gotcha.
He's generally if I'm dealing with say an onboarding type of situation or questions or whatnot, if there's NOC services involved, I generally have him on as well, because he's the official liaison, if you will, to the actual NOC. But I said, basically, in this electronic world, we're always tied into each other. We all watch each other's backs. We all are definitely integrated. Every one of us can get the job done. my background is very, very strong in help desk, but I still work fairly closely enough with the NOC team to know exactly what it is we're selling, what it is they're capable of, what they will and won't do, things of that nature.
Sure.
And generally speaking, if there's something that can't be done under a certain agreement, there's another service that we can offer that it will be. For example, the remote the remote system administration. Project work and whatnot is something that we used to have to turn away at all times. We don't need to do that anymore. We realized that it was an important gap in our service, and we definitely wanted to make that a reality.
Yeah, I think that is really cool. That especially what was the name that you had for that service? I keep calling it remote technician hours, but that's not what it's called.
It's remote system administration. You'll hear our team call it RSA. That's kind of the acronym for it. One of the things that's important to note is that it's not an on-demand service. It is a planned service. Essentially, you purchase it in a bulk of hours, but you can engage with us on the NOC team before it's even purchased. I mean, basically, we can talk a little bit about the project, what needs to be done, what the expectations are, and then, okay, we suspect it's going to take probably, say, 3 to 6 hours for this. Go ahead with your purchase, and then we'll schedule some dedicated time for that project, and we'll do it. And having that service available 24/7, definitely.
Yeah. No, that is very cool. So, you had mentioned at one point you were talking about how not a lot of help desks have some of the services that you guys have, but I think at this point you're one of the last. A lot of help desks have disappeared in the last couple of years. I think you guys just picked up Cloud Services Depot, correct?
Yes.
At least their help desk service, so that's part of you now. And
it was actually not so much the help desk service. It was actually still going through the actual same help desk, but the NOC services that we were actually able to obtain the actual client list for them and be able to offer them a better service than what they were getting through that. Anthony on our team was the one who was definitely in charge of that, so he knows a lot more about the CSD integration and how that went. I don't pretend to know exactly the intricacies of that because I wasn't directly involved with it, but it's been a fairly big project on this side to make sure that we can implement them into our system without ultimately we want to still provide support for everyone, but we want to make sure that we don't overload our existing guys with adding on a bunch of extra weight. So it's gone fairly well, and I'm pretty happy with it so far.
That's good. That's very good. So what are your thoughts on being one of the last men standing in help desk support? Is that how you feel sometimes?
Well, to say that pride is not it is what it is, I guess. But I'm very, very proud to be where I am. I feel proud not only myself but in my team that we've been able to basically start out from essentially a handful of guys and be able to offer this world-renowned service. It really, really feels good to know that there's so many people out there that we're helping, and we want to keep doing it. We don't want to lose our family values with regards to that. One of the reasons why we broke into a pod system was to not lose that.
Sure.
Ultimately, and I deal with clients on a daily basis, as you're aware, Dan. But the fact that I can actually give them a list of, say, 9 or 10 technicians that are actually going to be in their pod, they just look at that and they want to start crying and say, hey, this totally doesn't look like it's outsourced. I can introduce my clients to these people, and these are the physical people that are going to be helping my clients. And since we've done that, it's been night and day, the way we've been treated as an actual company that offers outsourced support. So it's really a step in the right direction. And the bottom line is it's scalable. We can still grow in smaller groups of teams. We still have the management capability over all of the technicians from the same internal structure. However, we now have lead technicians assigned to different pods and an internal structure as far as chain of command and whatnot, and it works well. It works very, very well.
Cool.
Your clients get familiar with the technicians because they're essentially talking to the same people every day.
Yeah. And it becomes part of their. You basically become part of the MSP's team.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly what we want to be. And that's really, really difficult to obtain in an outsourced environment.
Definitely. Well, guys, if you have any more questions, I have one last one that I want to ask, and then unless we see any more come in, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I think that the tough question, people always used to ask me when we first started offering live virtual help desk, they'd say, so are they located overseas? Like they would say overseas because they didn't want to say, are they an Indian company or are they a Chinese company? And I always used to say, no, they're in Canada. Close enough, as I always say. But
well, the way the crow flies, we're 60 miles from Seattle, so.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's like, aside from sounding like, you're from the Midwest or something like that, for all intents and purposes, you speak the right language and we're good.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
exactly right.
Have you had any kind of feedback as far as having the Indian knock service? Has that been an issue in any way, or how do you guys mitigate against that?
Well, one of the reasons, one of the main reasons that we actually have such a tight integration between the two teams is we are still the client-facing portion of that relationship. So basically, anything verbal that goes between us and the knock team is actually handled by our Canadian team. So your clients deal directly with Canadians. The electronic work is handled by our overseas team.
Very cool.
So essentially, basically, anyone who you're going to be speaking with is going to be from the Canadian team, and that also the advantage of actually being actually offering knock services before we had this great team in India, we were still handling the knock services in the Canadian team. So we're very knock-centric. We understand exactly what's going on. We have the ability to decipher and explain to the knock team what's happening, and likewise we can take it back. So it's not just a matter of a room full of level 1 technicians trying to decipher what the knock team needs to get to the client. We really, truly understand it. And that's, I think, definitely gives us an advantage because we essentially haven't changed our hiring practices or the type of qualifications we need in order to get into the door at Live Virtual Help Desk. And that gives everyone the advantage.
Yeah,
we're understanding who we're talking with and what we're dealing with as far as the technical aspect of the job duty goes.
Yeah, mitigating against those cultural and language barriers, I think is really good. So I like the setup you guys have. It sounds like it's not done right, where you can offer good prices and good service at the same time.
Exactly.
That takes some work.
It does, and it does basically, and there have been some things that we've changed along the way, things that haven't worked, and I mean, there's going to be, the service is constantly evolving. Ultimately, we're going to do offer the best service we can. If that means changing it to offer something a little bit different, for example, the addition of the SQL server, as well as the Cisco call manager and things like that, we're constantly adding new specialized services as our team grows to be able to offer these types of services to our clients. I don't think that's ever going to change. That's what the old vernacular. The only constant thing is change. We realize that the market does change as well as what clients' needs are. So we have to be cognizant of that and make the right decisions and change for the better ourselves.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, I think that sounds like a really good point to just wrap this up with a neat little bow. Guys, thank you for being on the call with us. And Trevor, thank you for taking some time out of your day. I hope that everything's okay with Nick and that he feels better. I assume he's sick. I don't know I guess I don't know what happened. But,
I know what you do. Unfortunately, I got the same email, so
I got
I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to be touching base with them shortly after this to let them know how it went. And I'm really glad you guys took time out of your day to listen to myself and Dan. Dan, thank you for letting me talk about our services. I'm passionate about what we do, and I'm passionate about what I offer, and and I think that goes hand in hand with the actual service we're providing to our clients.
I think that's a very big deal. So, alrighty, very cool. Well, until next time, we will call it here. So, have a good afternoon, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks very much, guys. Again, thanks everyone. Take care.
All right, bye.